got another cow file in our hand. It done went down at the school, y'all. Lord, what are we gonna do? We got another child in our hands. What is going on, y'all? It's a special report out here now. I ain't got no notifications from said networks, but that's all good though. I'm your host. You know who I am. He your host. You know who he is. And we ain't trying to tell you what to think. We're trying to show you how to think. That's the reason why we jump in here and bust the articles down, fam. Bust them down. So, this one should be no different. There is a video to this one. So, we're going to have to give it a fair user. Yeah, you know the networks be tripping. So, I'm going to hit them one time with the this.
Boob tube.
And then I'm going to hit them one more time with the that so that your algorithms can read them.
For the extra sauce.
And we're going to take it away. Tell me what you're talking about, John.
Here's Lester Holt.
Ryan Fumble.
Good day. We're coming back.
Parents have reunited with their children, and you showed that images, of kids outside of that classroom ostensibly, safely, and meeting with their parents so they know where their kids are. We're actually hearing from some of those parents at the scene. I want to play this for you. Listen to this.
I called him to make sure it wasn't, or I thought maybe it was a bomb threat. And then there was so many police cars, and then the ambulances started coming away from the school. And that's when I had heard there was a school shooting. And
now, I don't want to put my tinfoil kufi on. But hold on, let me blow that up some so y'all understand where I'm coming from. Let me bring that back a little bit. I just want to look and see if there's something missing out of this scene. If anybody can tell me what you don't see here, I got you. But just watch this one more time.
It wasn't, or I thought maybe it was a bomb threat. And then there was so many police cars, and then
Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs.
I'm just saying. I'm not even going to say what it is. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm trying to show you how to think. Look, play close attention now. It's something missing from this here description.
Missing.
There's something missing.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. What's missing, man? Something's missing.
Or I thought maybe it was a bomb threat.
This way, look.
And then there was so many police cars, and then the ambulances started.
The pat on the back.
Away from the school.
Not the pat on the back. Did you see the hand come from out of nowhere with the pat on the back? Did you see that? Wait, hold on. There's more.
And that's when I had heard there was a school shooting, and it's just, there's no words because.
Of course you don't.
Oh my gosh.
Of course you don't.
From your river,
sweetie. You don't have words, sweetie. And I understand why you don't have words. I wouldn't have words either if you can't find the right way to conjure up. Like, what is going on here? Hold on.
I'm dehydrated.
Yeah.
They weren't letting the parents up there, so they were just running up the street.
Just the abject horror.
Dude.
I am no shape or form laughing at the situation.
No.
But you gotta, that was a comedic drama performance.
That was worse than the Kyle Rittenhouse cry that we paid play in the beginning of this thing, dude. That was the worst attempt at being A distraught. What was she a parent?
I
Was she a teacher's aide? Was she the second long lost cousin of the parking manager?
I mean, that's how she was crying, or zero crying.
let me hold it. I just one more time, y'all. Just once more, because I know I ain't crazy.
I want to play this for you. Listen to this.
And look how the news set it up. I want to play this for you. Listen to this.
Called him to make sure it wasn't, or I thought maybe it was a bomb threat.
A little less on the panting and the whimpering, shorty.
For real.
I got to come all out and say it. I don't see not one drip of moisture from the corner of her eye. Man, her eyes are
Nana.
Sierra Nevada desert dry.
She needs some moist eyes.
That her eye sockets is Mojave.
Man, did you get a YouTube notification, sir?
Not one.
Not a near nana.
And we running. I'm looking at the stream right now because they don't want that out there because I got Nashville school.
Did you change the title?
Yeah, I put school SHXXINT. You know, like I switched it up and I said unalive. I did all.
This is the anti-message. Do not put out none of this. We don't want you to know. I had the article, then I couldn't find it, wouldn't come up for me. Then I had to tell Cuz about it. Then he was able to locate said information. It went from 5 to 6.
Yeah, this is weird. No.
They have said parent, teacher's aide, special ed helper, bus rider helper.
Look at that's her eyes is now in the light. And I be good and god darn if you don't see nothing, man.
Literally nothing.
That's the worst crisis actor cry I've ever seen. Yeah, I'm calling her a crisis actor. I'm just coming on out with it.
And then there was so many police cars, and then the ambulances started.
Where is this ambiguous? The ambiguous
not the Paddington Bear.
This ambiguous Pat coming from out the back like she is really sobbing.
I mean, hand her some tissues.
Do they know how to? Who approved this?
Who approved this?
Who thought that this was cool to go on the air to actually try to convince somebody that she's experiencing some sort of pain from a loved one being shot at school?
And then how you had mentioned how the anchor even set it up. Like, yeah, we're coming in live. You need to see this.
Look, they skipped the whole other part. Look.
Here's Lester Holt.
Lester Holt, no good.
Good day, we're coming back.
Parents have reunited with their children. And you
see that hard cut? That's sloppy for a multi-billion-dollar news company. Listen here, Les. We don't want to talk to you. We got something else to show, and this was gonna be it, Les. Sit back, Les. Listen to this.
showed that images, of kids outside of that classroom ostensibly, safely, and meeting with their parents so they know where their kids are. We're actually hearing from some of those parents at the scene. I want to play this for you.
So she's supposed to be a parent that got her kid killed?
There it goes.
Or was she a parent that had her kid mixed up in the drama and nothing happened to her, shorty particularly, so she just putting on a good cry for the camera?
A good non-cry.
Yeah, just a good, I was really concerned, but I really don't care because it wasn't my child. Is that what I get here?
Your cry would have to have moisture involved, correct?
Yeah, yeah. If you crying, usually cry means water coming from the eye sockets, and she has none of that.
Listen to this.
Called him to make sure it wasn't, or I thought maybe it was a bomb threat.
Who took her to crying class? Who said, you know what? Look at them in the look now. Okay, we focusing on her. Check the two out in the office while she doing this.
They chilling.
Oh no, they had to get off their faces because they was gonna ruin it.
I promise you.
They was gonna ruin it. This is what y'all decided to play the trick or sway or convince us that it really went down?
Hey, and he was all suited up. The dudes is all suited up, and them two women was looking like they was going to the club, P.
And then there was so many police cars, and then the ambulances started coming away from us.
And look, as soon as she got the pat on the back, she started to try to go a little harder too.
Did she? It turned up.
Soon as she got the little pat, soon as that little head came from out there, boy, she started to try to show up a little bit, show out. Hold on.
There was so many police cars, and then the ambulances started coming away from the school. And that's when I had heard it was a school shooting.
You can't. It was a school
So you didn't even know.
And that's when I heard it was a school shooting.
So you're a parent that was at the school and you didn't know it was a school. You just was randomly showing up to the school.
Pretty much.
You just accidentally was driving past the school. You seen the ambulance, the police. You was like, oh, what happened?
Pretty much, yeah.
Get out of here. That is not what happened. That's the most ridiculous story in the planet.
It's just, there's no words.
Yeah.
You got so choked up.
There's no words.
The interview wasn't supposed to go that long.
Yeah, but don't you get choked up when you got like a frog in your throat, like when you're crying?
Right. I'm saying she ran out of words. That somebody didn't call. You know when you got action, and then what's the word for after the scene is done?
Cut.
Nobody called cut, P.
And she was like, "No words, no more words."
Yeah.
It's just, there's no words because they weren't letting the parents up there, so they were just running up the street.
That's not even really nothing to cry about. If you really think about what she's saying, it ain't like she said, and I seen the little kids laid out on the ground and they were hurt. You know what I mean?
Right.
What are you? Let's analyze what she's crying about.
There was so many police cars, and then
there was so many police cars. Hold on.
Or I thought maybe it was a bomb threat.
So she thought it was a bomb threat.
And then there was so many police cars, and then the ambulances started coming away from the school. And that's when I had heard it was a school shooting, and it's just, there's no.
So there were so many police. Ambulances was leaving from the school. I'm just trying to understand, like, where's the emotional part in it, where it's coming from.
She thought her shorty was in one of the ambulances.
Now you reaching, see, and that's what I was trying not to do. You're reaching. that's what you call reaching. We trying to connect the dots. That's not what she said. We trying to connect the dots. She said, and let me repeat that one more time.
And then it was a bomb threat.
It was a bomb threat. Okay, that's something you could explain.
And then there was so many police cars.
There was a
Okay,
bomb
so there was
threat.
a lot of police cars.
Yep.
And then the ambulances started coming away from the school.
So that's when the padding had happened. What? So you're crying. So was you? So that's when she had to turn it up.
That
And
was the
the ambulance
that was the
kept
signal
going,
right there.
and the ambulance was coming away from the school. She didn't say, "I thought my child was in the ambulance. I heard little Susie was in the ambulance. You know, she's a good kid. She was on the track team. She plays with my daughter." I mean, I'm not getting any. Most kids got cell phones these days. So you saying you ain't talk to your shorty and see what was
That's
going
what
on?
I'm saying.
Come on, fam.
You just was randomly just driving by the school. You just so happened to be in the neighborhood. And then you thought it was a bomb threat. I don't know why. So right away you thought it was a bomb threat. You seen police cars. You seen ambulance.
You talked to your shorty probably on a text or on the phone already. So what are
Let's
you
keep
talking
it
about?
real. So
It
you
was,
already knew it was happening.
yeah, but
That even
why?
more reason why you probably ain't even a parent, P.
Not a parent. This is not somebody who has a child at that school. Because
Period.
if it was me, I would be angry.
Period.
And I'm not a woman. I understand emotions and all of that. But she ain't got the right emotions though.
She ain't even crying. There's
She
no
not even.
tears.
Look, the light is right there. You don't see a drip of wet. There's no trace of light glistening off the
Off her
moisture.
chest.
Nothing.
Look, there's a little moisture on her chest.
Nah, that's just sunlight.
And that's when I had heard there was a school shooting. And
That is bacon
Look,
grease.
look at her eye socket right there, dry as eye. You see right in the retina right there.
She got bacon grease coming out her pores around the neckline. You
Yeah,
don't see
but
that shining bacon grease?
I do, but I don't see no moisture down by that.
Oh
The
no,
cheek
that's
crease
done.
by the nose, because that's where it's gonna run from out the eye. Should be wet somewhere around there,
None.
down by the nose,
Or
dripping
the
off.
corner. Don't
Yeah,
forget
that's
the
what.
corner up there, up on the
Yeah,
top though, up on the
mhm.
cheekbone, up around there. You could get something over there too.
Nothing. Not a
It
nothing.
could get started.
I don't see nothing.
Not a
Nothing.
nair. Not a nair.
So you thought it was a bomb threat. So many police, then the ambulances, and now you ain't got no words.
There's no words.
Script.
Because they weren't letting the parents up there, so
Cut.
they were just running up
Cut.
the street.
Cut.
So then she goes on to say,
Letting the parents up there, so they were just running up the street. Because they weren't letting the parents up there, so they were just running up the street.
I thought
Just
she
the
was a
abject
parent.
horror.
the abject. Hold on, listen to this.
Just the abject horror, the terror there, the relief, I think, as well. But
You see him looking down.
we often hear this so many times in these as well. But the relief, I think, is just the abject horror, the terror there.
Abject horror. What abject horror and terror did she just describe?
None. I ain't even gonna lie to you, champ.
And, he was like, "Here, I want you guys to listen to this. This is gonna be the one. Listen to this. This is gonna break your heart. This is gonna tell you every little detail that was there from a parent's perspective who had a child that went to that school that really. No, I didn't get that.
The relief, I think,
I didn't
as
get
well.
at all.
But we often hear this so many times in these school shootings. She thought it was a bomb threat and then finds out that it was an actual school shooting at her child's school.
Hold on, a
Heartbreaking to
bomb
hear that.
threat
Probably the first of many
ain't
that we're
good
going to hear
enough?
from.
We're coming up here with
Yeah.
So the
breaking news.
bomb threat wasn't
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
That ain't good enough.
He said, no, that's not. They thought it was a bomb threat because if it was a bomb threat, no big deal,
Right.
There has been a shooting at a Christian elementary school in Nashville, Tennessee. Officials from the hospital confirmed 3 children were pronounced dead after suffering gunshot wounds. Authorities say the gunman is also dead. We want to go to NBC's Steve Patterson. Steve, what have you gathered so far?
Lester, it's a limited amount of information. Obviously, this is a fast-breaking story. It's unfolding as we speak, but the limited information we do have is already heartbreaking. As you say, these 3 students were shot. They were transferred to a local hospital, a children's hospital in Vanderbilt, nearby where this was. And then those 3 children were pronounced dead at that hospital. We're also hearing that the shooter, as you mentioned, died during a confrontation with police. The local police describe it as being engaged by officers. Now, we don't know if that resulted in an exchange of gunfire and that's how the shooter was down, or if that gunfire was self-inflicted, but the shooter is reported down. That's the latest. We're learning more about the setting that this took place as well. This Covenant School, a private Christian grade school, about 200 students, ages preschool to 6th grade. We're hearing that the students were reunited with their parents, the ones that were able to get out after this shooting, their hands up. Obviously, that scene that we've seen so many times in these school shooting settings, but we just don't have any information about how this necessarily unfolded, how it started, how it's progressing, what police are investigating at this time, besides the obvious.
Is it me? Hold on. That looked like some old stock footage right there, fam.
I
Besides
mean,
that
he
footage.
set it up. He already set it up with
how it started, that we've seen so many times in these school shooting settings, but we just don't have any information about how this necessarily unfolded, how it started, how it's progressing, what police are investigating at this time.
Why they always got to have the kids walking out single file behind the? Haven't you seen that before?
I have.
Yeah, it's totally weird, man.
Besides the obvious warning to the public, that has now been extinguished with the fact that they say that the shooter is down in this case. But obviously, a lot of people, worried, nervous about their children, worried about this community, in what we hear often in these shootings that occur at schools.
And we're referring to the shooter as a gunman. Do we have any real characterization on anything about the shooter at this point?
I have not seen an age. I have not seen a name. We don't know anything about it.
That's why I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. Like, let it be black. Is it black, though? You can tell us if it's black, though.
About the shooter at this point, yeah.
Look, and they hate that too.
Thousands of people march in the streets
Hold
around
on.
the Sacramento Sikh Society Temple to celebrate Nagar
What
Kirtan.
kind of segue
It's a
was
religious
that?
event for the Sikh community, and this is the first time a parade has happened in Sacramento.
The parade is just one opportunity for.
Oh, they out here, huh? Okay.
Yeah, they got their holiday, P.
Yeah, they out here anyway, man. What y'all think about that? Would y'all want to place y'all bets right now on who y'all think the shooter was?
I'm going with Kyle.
You going with Kyle File? I'm going Mexicano.
What? At the private Wingle Bingle?
Yep. And I bet
The private Christian, only 200 students, K through 6 in Nashville.
Well, yeah, that do change the dynamic a little bit. Private Christian school. Yeah, that sounds like PC to me.
Off top. I was gonna go with the Asian hot wings, but I was like, nah, I can't go with the zesty Asian sauce on this one. Not with knowing all the parameters.
Yeah, we're going to keep up with that story, man, but we ain't going to hold you. We're just going to mold you, fold you, and scold you about being on code. And I got 4 words for you. It is like love is with the peace. Hold on, let me look you dead in the eye, buddy. It's love, it's peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out to Doha for show high. You already know. Can I get